I'll collar your road and Dad. Make sure you get Dad in it as well.
Right.
Wait a minute, I can't see.
Alright, don't worry, just keep taking it. Always move it. Stop it then now. Come back in a minute. Alright, come on, you're the commentator.
Here we are at Portsmouth.
I've got tea, I don't mind. Tea, Friendster. See you next set. That should be easy. That's what I was looking at. Yeah, that's right. See, look, it goes up there, down there. That one holds the outside, right? And this bottom one holds the trip. No? So we want that release. The whole drop slides down to here. The whole frame moves over. The boat about here.
I'm coming round to you.
Fair in there, yeah, isn't it? He's only coming straight on weather. Do you know what he's doing, or does he know what he's doing? Hey? He does know what he's doing. Does that mean where's all that paperwork we brought out? Hey? I'll just seat in it. Do you want some of it? Yeah, all I want is the pictures of that. We're going to get some good...
What do you do? All over.
Same one and the middle one if you go.
Normandy lunch, French bread and Normandy cheese.
And French water, yeah. The Swiss Army pen
Allez, tip, tip, hey, hey, filles. Allez, allez, tip.
Well, it goes well now, we have.
It's a bit bumpy. I don't think this is going to come out terribly well.
No, it's trees, that's all you got is trees. Right? Bushes, that's all she's taking is bushes.
I was trying to get some of those funny...
It's the mirror. Where are you going?
What's wrong with the film? The lights are active. The lights are red.
There's only one problem with walking along and doing it. You can't see where you're going. Otherwise it's just a picture of the tunnel.
I'll take some, so I can go along there and take a picture of full length for them to take it. Well, tell me how you take it and I'll take you too.
Trying to get close enough, are you?
This is what we found. Seahorses.
Want to use that tonight?
Yes, thank you.
See it? I was just going to video.
Can I just take a quick picture of the ushers, then I'll get out of here.
Sorry.
So if you would like to organise the rest of the ushers out here.
It's just Brian, isn't it? Yeah. No, you've got to be good for this big Oh, yours, I guess. What are you? Right, sorry.
Now, you have to hold it back. Put the gloves are over the top. There you go.
How many would you like?
That's it. Just a couple, right?
I just can't believe it. I should just go.
There you are, your big film day.
Yeah. Chopstick as well. Hello.
Right, you managed to get out. No, you go a bit further. Like that. Nice to see you. Mum's already in there, so...
Right, we'll go ahead and have a look.
Right, sorry.
There's yards of frock.
Oh, I know. Yards of frock.
Got a limp down the arm.
I know you're keen, but...
Can I just take a picture of you as you're getting out of the car?
Look great, Dad. That's okay. Three, four, and I
It's the first time in my life I think I've told him to shut up. But
I thought I was going to have a read on him when I was there.
Can I just take one picture of you?
Right.
That's super. Now, you will just allow me to change the shirt.
Right, let's do this bail. My bail.
So I'm taking your boat.
don't worry about it. I'll just hand them to you. Whatever.
Nervous now.
Please stay.
One of them is.
Came with the best man.
You never actually wear it.
That's the car in question. With the picture at the front.
Hello.
We just waited for the breath to take off.
Didn't get that on film.
James, every time I get on your video, because when you're at weddings.
A mile away over there. My God, I'd like you to have Are we all here now?
Yeah, it wasn't me, obviously.
Well, we must have had the motorbike going for us to get a house like that. The next one.
He's going to earn $1 million from that.
Right, are we ready?
Yes, let's have a scene. I've got mine. I've got another film. She wants it. Right, we'll do it again.
Any day.
Yes. Thank you very much. Right. Have the family McCann now, please.
Family McCann.
Dr. McCann.
Coming.
Not me, I'm fine. I just
We've got to do a good one.
Flying through a head.
It was weird. I keep telling them to keep this one up there. She would. It's a really nice house.
Touch me again and I'll break your hand. You're in a crash. Smile. We were hoping it would really straighten up and we'd be alright to go. So
I can't see her. I can't see her, no.
Helping. It was just about.
Right, now then, can we have the champion family, please?
Yes.
Right. Thank you very much.
Chris, can I just have one Yes, my sister. Yes.
You coming in, Mummy? Come on in with Mummy then. Are you coming in or not, Rebecca? Yes?
You go with Mum. All right then.
It'll make me very happy.
I can see now why it's been decided to come back.
Yes, I was just saying.
Yes, that's lovely. Very nice.
Thank you.
Chris, can I have my rice and No. Not at all.
Okay, girls.
Like the dress.
Party starts later. Lovely. Thank you very much.
Yes. We can look at that way.
Okay, we've got you all in very comfortable. Okay. Keep it up. Lovely. Thank you very much. Right now.
Neil's David Bailey.
Yes.
The unofficial photographer.
Yeah. Here you go, Richard, your photo opportunity without the photographer.
How much to look at?
Oh, these hats.
Well, that was impressive.
No, it's fun here.
Everyone will say, oh, I remember when you fell over at Helen's wedding. I just leapt up there, you know, I didn't get anything on the dress, just sort of slipped like that.
Tony, you've got to go back there.
Could you come onto the steps, please, and then when the photographer comes, we can take it straight away.
Open up the windy.
Very well, you know.
Right, Chris.
Right.
It's gorgeous, Sonny. It's gorgeous. Where'd you sit, you know?
Oh, here they go.
Call upon the bride's father, Dr. David McCann, to commence the proceedings.
I'm not sure really that camcorders are a good idea after all. Our humiliation here is a record for forever, but here we go anyway. Thank you for all coming. It's been a very pleasant day so far. And unlike the wedding at Cana that we heard about in the service, we haven't had to call on Joe to turn water into wine, fortunately, because Stoke Rochford appears to be very much more competent than the New Testament wedding feast. Joe actually reminded me of some very pleasant times we had in Kent when the children were young, and we were a lot younger as well. And it's probably not lost on him actually that the last hymn we had this morning, Praise the Lord, was in fact the sort of theme hymn of the Tunbridge Wells Fellowship, where we all used to go, and where the children all came to know Jesus, which is, I thought was really a good coincidence, really. Well, there never is any coincidence with Jesus, and it's usually all organised. But he also reminded me, really, that it's, one of the advantages of having loads of children is that they eventually have a career. And if you're lucky, they get a career that eventually will be of some advantage to you. Equally, they might also marry somebody who can be of advantage to you in your old age. I know he's in children, but I live in pain. But anyway, so far we've managed to accrue a nurse, a doctor, a social worker, an economics advisor, a shop designer, and a motor mechanic, and a secretary, yes, as well. So we're doing really well, and Pat and I really are looking forward to our old age with some satisfaction, because we have all these people who are going to look after us, aren't they? Yes, okay. You probably realised that Helen, as a child, was a bit of a tomboy. She hasn't actually changed much. Two things you probably should know about, one of which you already observed, that she actually turned down a bright red Rolls Royce for that very strange car we found. It was very appropriate because it was very Helen-like. And we enjoyed travelling with it, although we were a bit worried that it might not make it to the church, all of 100 yards. The other thing is, that during this week, we moved their furniture down to Brighton. Helen was charged with the task of finding a van. And she eagerly set about this task, and I heard her on the phone saying to Mike, "Yes, Mike, no problem, we put the biggest van I could find." Good, good, says Mike. And off they went on Monday evening to collect this van. Unfortunately, when Mike came back, he was as white as a sheet, because the van turned out to be a 7.5-ton truck. Great difficulty in driving through the streets of Brighton, and equally difficulty driving through the streets of Brighton when I was with him. But we managed it. But again, only Helen had turned up with a 7.5-ton truck. As a child, she gave us lots of pleasure, really. But the signs of impending doom for us as parents were there at the age of 5 when there was a fire in a house near to the local school, and she and her bosom chum at the time disappeared from the school and were found down gazing at this fire. And when asked why they left school by a somewhat irate teacher, they said, "Oh, well, we just decided to opt out." So there she was at the age of 5, already being very difficult. But she's actually, of course, it's not some worry really as in these travels. One of her early events, when she was an au pair in Milan, she got on the magic bus in Milan one Christmas and disappeared without trace. And we worried a little bit, and then when she came back some 3 days later, she said, "Oh, what's the problem? What are you worried about? You know, it's just a normal thing to be lost in Europe. Snowstorm." But she survived, and of course she has survived many other of these disastrous, wonderful trips she's had, with the help of the Lord, I feel, at times, but also with the help of a considerable independence of spirit. The interesting thing about this independence of spirit is that she always, from an early age, insisted that she was going to have 6 children. Mike, I don't think is quite so sure, but if you go to 2, you'll be glad to know. The problem with these 6 children, though, is that she tended to read Enid Blyton books. Now, if you remember Enid Blyton books, it's always the grandparents that get lumbered with all these children at holiday time. And this is Helen's intention, in fact. She assured Pat and I that come holiday, all 6 children would come down to their loving grandparents, and off we would go to have the same sort of jolly holiday at Willicombe that we used to have, while she and Mike actually bunning up somewhere, I expect, leaving us. But I expect we'll cope. But we've had jolly times as a family, and I count myself most fortunate that my delightful daughter has found an equally delightful partner to share a life with. It's been a privilege to meet Mike and to get to know him during the time we've been preparing for this day. And I think at this point I'd just ask you to stand with me and raise your glasses to the bride and groom, Michael and Helen.
Bride and groom. For Michael Champion to respond.
On behalf of my wife and I believe it's customary to say a few words. I think Helen would like me to point out that the views in this speech may not necessarily be the same as the management. Excuse me. And to quote my brother-in-law in his wedding speech, if I go on a bit too long, there will be a toilet break in about 30 minutes. I'd like to also extend a welcome to you all. Thank you for coming today. It wouldn't be the same without you, and you're certainly making the day and sharing it with us. Particularly like to thank Sally and Dave, who were working last night and still managed to get up here in time for us to join us for the meal today. I'd like to thank Tom and Bea, the tourists from Holland, for coming all the way across to share the day with us. And being a King's man, I'd also like to say hi to everyone from the Middlesex Cottage Hospital. And thank you to Joe for your speech, your little chat at the service today. It was fantastic and very hard to follow, and it was just right. It made it very special for us, so thank you very much. I feel that the groom's speech is a fairly business speech, and that you have to say thank you to everybody. But I thought I would also indulge and tell you a little bit about the torrid romance. Not exactly your run-of-the-mill Milton Boone doctor-nurse romance, but as you've heard so far about Kelly, you wouldn't expect it, would you? Well, to say that we met wouldn't really be strictly true. I was the new doctor at Brighton, and one of the things that the Royal College of Nursing has decreed is that when the new doctor arrives, all the nurses observe you and they suss out whether or not you're going to be fun to work with, whether all these important qualities. And Helen had got, I think, down to number 5 on the list, which was to decide whether or not the new doctor was good looking. And I was working across the way and there were glass partitions, and you'll be happy to know that she decided that I wasn't. And this wasn't a rash decision, because after we got engaged, she did once slip and said, I always thought I was going to marry someone really good looking. If I can't actually remember the first time we met, I can remember what I believe to be the first word she ever said to me, which was, Has anyone ever told you you're a real wally? I must say, in Helen's defence at the time, though, I was playing with the duck glove puppet. I thought I was entertaining the kids, but I think I was just entertaining the nurses. Well, having got off to such a good start, there was a little lull in proceedings, and then my registrar, Simon, who's sitting somewhere, oh, he's over there, right, he played a pivotal role in getting us here today. Simon, I'm sure, won't mind me saying that he's renowned for his vision or his short-sightedness, but Helen, despite thinking she was being cool, had obviously made enough signs that she was interested for Simon to actually pick up one day at lunch that had I noticed the blonde nurse, well-spoken, possibly Irish. That's not actually Simon's description, that was someone else. That seemed to be paying me more attention, was running to get the names a bit more enthusiastically than usual. Number one, did you think? And I don't know whether or not this was contrived, but he was unable to do a special test with a child with it. He was busy, so I had to step into the breach. And lo and behold, the nurse that was going to help me for the test, which took 2 hours, was Helen. So I spent a very nice 2 hours getting to know Helen, also getting paid for it, and I do believe there was a patient there somewhere. So, having decided that yes, I was very interested, it became rather difficult because Helen left the hospital and she went to Cheney, so I had a master plan. I thought, well, if I could get to know her friends, then maybe I could get to know her better.
Sorry, Helen.
And so this is when I ran into the Dyke Road Mafia. Now, they were very kind to me, they took me on board, I was a kind of honorary girlie. Some of the conversations I was privy to are far more informative than any women's magazine could ever be. As a doctor, I learned a lot. However, it was a bit of a double-edged sword because not only was I getting to know them, but they were actually like bodyguards and chaperones. Trying to get Helen on her own was impossible. She lived at the top of the house, and every time I knocked at the door, it would be one of them, or if it wasn't, I got through the door, and one would come out of their room and get me on the ground floor. If I made it to the first floor, one would come out. I made it once, and she was out. Helen actually wasn't helping things too much in that we were coming back one night from a nightclub, and I decided to up the pace a bit, try and get her on her own, and managed to say, would you like to come back for coffee? And she agreed, and then she waited for all her friends to catch up. However, things did develop, shall we say, and I was more than sweet on Helen, so much so that I had a rush of blood to the head, and suggested that I take her away to Paris for her birthday, and which she replied, what, in January? Yes, it was -3 at times, but the summer was quite nice in the snow, so I don't regret it. So much so, by the time that I left Brighton, made enough headway that Helen was no longer going to go and do her job in Thailand for a year, which I was very pleased about. And 6 months after I went up to London, Helen made a career move up to the London Teaching Hospital as well. I had nothing to do with this whatsoever. And we actually managed to survive 6 months of Kelly being an exam widow whilst I was doing my membership. Although she did go off to Thailand for one of these famous jaunts for a month, which worried me silly, but I think acted as some compensation for me being so boring. So finally, after nearly 2 years nearly to the day from our first stage, at Christmas I decided the time was right and I would strike and see if I could claim her for mine. And so, again, I had the age-old McCann problem of actually getting her on her own. The whole family were there, and it's always bedlam there when everybody's there. And I finally managed to get her alone in the car going to church. And I asked her, and there was silence. So I then said, I'm not joking, just in case there was... I am now occasionally to crack a joke. And there was silent, so much so that I was now thinking, oh, I've made a mistake. But then came a very definite yes, and she made me very happy. And so the next thing was to try and get her father on his own, which is obviously genetic, because I was waiting, I was hiding upstairs, waiting on him, just couldn't get him. However, finally I did manage to get him alone. And the thing that surprised me was he was delighted. So we all had a drink and a dance around the kitchen, and here we are today. I think he was pleased because he thought that there was now going to be an intellectual in the family, but that was soon shattered when he found out that I got a D for A-level maths. So. But I've been doing my homework, I've been going to the Science Museum, I've been spending hours looking at the oceanography and the geophysics section there, but I haven't quite cracked Coronation Street yet. So finally, in sort of bringing this part of my speech to a close, I'd just like to say thank you to all the camp for making me so welcome and for helping me sort of integrate so easily, and have a great Christmas. Always enjoyed my time here in Lincolnshire, so thank you. The next part of my speech will be a cross between an Oscar acceptance speech, and I'll be thanking everybody, so I'll make no apologies for that now. It will also be like a prize giving with everybody trooping up here to get their little prizes. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Helen. I had no doubts that she was going to look stunning. Definitely wow positive. She came up to me waiting at the aisle. I'll use a little Dutch word I was taught, lekker. I think Tom Beer will explain to you later what that means. Came to mind at the time. I'd like to thank you for saying yes. I'd like to thank you for saying I will. I'd like to thank you for just making such a difference to my life. And not forgetting all the work that you've actually done, all the lettering, the seating plan, all that's been done by Helen. And she's certainly been a tour de force in getting this wedding off the ground. Once when I was in Brighton, when I was actually unattached, I can remember being in a very heated debate about marriage, being dismissed as a romantic, because I had said that when I walked up the aisle, I still wanted to be in love, I still wanted to think that the person I was marrying was the bee's knees. I'd just like to say, Helen, I wouldn't have had it any other way. I'd like to say thank you to Pat and Dave. They've been working like Trojans since Christmas, getting this whole day together. And they've been fantastic. They've put up with Kelly's wins that when we broke today. My indulgences, that's the dancing tonight, folks, so don't let me down. And just thank you very much. You've been wonderful, and I don't think I could have improved any way from what we've enjoyed today. The service, the meal, and just everybody here, all our friends. It's been lovely, and our family. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Iris, who, this way, for all the help she's done with actually arranging the presents list. I think we just have a little something for the two mums. They've always given me a very stable base from which to launch my life and realise all the dreams I had. As many of you know, I lost my mum a couple of years back, and she's sorely missed today, but I just want everyone to be thinking of her today. And I know that she's looking down, and she's always been an inspiration to me, and she's sorely missed today. I'd also like to say thank you to the bridesmaids. We have some little presents for them, mainly for not talking Helen out of it, and also for, apart from Helen, of course, greatly improving the scene. Thank you very much. I hope you appreciate it. Mark, my best man, for being so calm, for settling me down this morning. I'd also like to thank him for shooting me twice out of the game when I was staying paintballing. And although it's very sporting, I thought he was supposed to be on my side. Thank you very much, Mark. I'd like to just come up just a little. Thank you. If we could have the ushers up here, that's young Dave, who managed to persuade to wear a suit. He was a bit worried that all his friends would be watching from the pub opposite. Chris and Jack for today, so we like how David just. The man with handicap, also the man with the guitar that led us all so well. Apologies for the organist, I'm sure his arthritis will get better. And where's Brian? Over here, a friend from my king's days. He's sorting out my family. And the grandma's not free. Nicola and Chris, they did the speeches today. I'm glad that Matthew also joined in with my sister. I think I heard a few of the words that he said. Thanks very much for, well, I think Christmas press came into it. The first he knew about it was when I told him he couldn't get out of it because he was already on the service. Finally, we get to the creative team, really. This consisted of two people. First of all, Ruth, Peter's wife, who did all the invitations, all the artwork on your little name tags, your order of service. And if you looked closely, I don't know if any of you noticed, there were a few teddy bears hidden amongst all the flowers on the order of service this morning. So thank you very much for just taking all that time and that effort. They were smashing. It made it very personal. So if you'd like to just have a little take of that, please. Finally, a big thank you to Pat. Now, Pat made the cake, and I don't know if any of you have taken a real good look at it, but all the flowers are made out of icing, and it's, you know, not only does it look good, it tastes good too. She's actually managed to make this cake whilst moving and rebuilding the house. So apparently it looked more like Beirut than Michel Roux's kitchen, but she's done a smashing job, and just thank you very, very much. Finally, I'd just like to say a little thing about the stag and hen day we had. We went paintballing, which is where you run around the countryside playing soldiers and shoot each other with paint. It was actually quite a lot of fun, and we also had a really good meal in the evening. I'd particularly like to thank Sheila Patel, who unfortunately isn't here tonight, but she was awarded the Mark of Zorro Shot of the Day award. Whilst trying to blow my brains out, she did actually manage to shoot me above the hairline, so she didn't ruin the photo, so I was very grateful for that. I'd also like to thank Tape20 for the Saxonal Whistle Testosterone Award for aggression above and beyond. And finally, Annie, who's at the other end there, she got the Star Trek Award for boldly going where no sane person would. And it may come as no surprise that she also got the David Miller Sitting Duck Under Fire Award. This was going to be changed to the Duchess of York Award, but from instruction from the palace we decided. So I am going to sit down and shut up now. Thank you all for your time. Thank you all for coming. And the bridesmaids, I'd just like everyone to be upstanding. A job well done. You look beautiful. Thank you very much. Happy Julie and Annie.
We met during our anatomy classes.
and we weren't quite sure what to expect either, rather like today. On the way through medical school, I learned that Mike is very conscientious and very caring. And having, contrary to what he says, also very intelligent, although he tries to deny it. Having qualified, I know that he's continued in much the same vein and become a very good doctor. Certainly if I had any children and they needed a paediatrician, I would want to take them along to him. Mike decided to become a paediatrician at a very early stage in his career. In fact, I seem to remember him being very keen on the idea when we were still medical students. And he maintains that this is because he's very fond of the children. But my theory is that it's because he likes playing with the toys, and I think the end of that family story backs that one up. Just before I go on any further, there are one or two cards that I'd like to read out from people who couldn't make it today. This first one, Mike and Helen, have a wonderful wedding day, and in all days to come, look after each other. God bless Lynn, Naomi, and Ben, with etc., etc. I don't know, etc., etc.
Yeah, some of the kids.
Okay. And then to Helen and Mike, sorry we can't be there and share your day. May all your problems be little ones. Graham and Steph. Then we have a stunning piece of artwork from, is it the kids at the hospital where you are at the moment? Yes. Which is, you probably won't all be able to see it. The ones of you who are nearer, this is actually Mike. Okay, and well, apparently it's because his hair looks like the top of a pineapple. I suppose that depends on your point of view. One or two messages. There are several messages from various people in here, but basically this is by Simon August, who's wishing you all well. Then. Dear Michael and Helen, we're very sorry that we cannot be with you on your very special day. Hope you have a wonderful day and we'll be thinking of you. Love from Valerie and David. And finally, the biggest. Can you see the resemblance? Yes. It's there, isn't it? He hasn't got his stethoscope with him today. And this is to Mike and Helen from the children and staff at Woodland House. And then we've got a little bit more artwork on the inside there. Well, finally, I really felt that I couldn't let the day go by without offering a couple of words of advice each to Mike and Helen. The first, I offer some advice to Helen. Mike is a very modern man, and he will obviously be very keen to do his share of work around the house. And sorry, Mike. And I, as you know, have known him for a long time, and I know that he's very keen on cooking. For goodness sake, Helen, if he's ever going to be let loose on his own in the kitchen, check the recipe through and through and make absolutely certain before it's served up that it's supposed to be in liquid form. And finally, Mike, just a short piece of advice for you. I hope that you'll be able to go through life never forgetting the lesson that we learned during the paintball. It only takes one loose screw and your barrel will fall.
Oh, yeah.
What's he doing? What's he doing?
Putting in sand in his truck.
Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get me down. Get down. Get down. What's he doing? No.
Too late now, it's all done. Alright, come on.
And you do the button. Sticking the hat off. Sticking the hat off. Sticking the hat off. Sticking the hat off. Sticking the hat off.
Get set again.
Kelly, see if he can find the chicken for you.
So go find the chicken. Dad!
Chicken. Chicken. Find a chicken. Where's the chicken gone?
Ask for something else, Kelly. Dog?
There. See if you can find the cat for me.
Find the cat.
What else?
Anything else?
Duck.
Kelly?
Where's the duck?
Ask for the duck.
Kelly, ask for the duck. Kelly.
Wait a minute. Where's the cow?
Cow.
There's the cow.
Cow
Where's
or
the cow?
cat? Did you say cow or cat?
Where's the cow, James? Show Kelly the cow.
Oh, there's the cow.
No, it's not.
Where's the cow?
You do.
James found the cow.
She's being
Dad.
That's not the cow. Cheating.
They're coming over there. That's not that cow.
Where's the cow? Where's the cow?
James can find the cow,
Be careful,
can't you,
Kelly.
James?
Where's the cow gone, James? Where's the cow?
Yeah. Mind James's head. We'll
Mind
close the
James
door.
on the door. That's right. Good girl. How about the duck? Where's the duck, James? Where's the duck? Can you find the duck?
I think you've gone past the duck, James.
Yeah, I think so somehow. Have a look. Yeah.
What's your dream?
Matthew, you don't smile like that. You say cheese or strawberries.
Strawberries.
James.
I found Tommy. Oh. No. No.
No.
They go. Oh. That's really sad. Watch him stop.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Can you text me?
Is this? Yes, this is ours.
Sure.
Yes.
You got stuff out the front room, Nikki?
What are you doing, Annie?
Pat.
What are you doing?
Going.
He says, oh, look, it's James. Come to see his daddy. Had that old bag. So I go, got thousands of bags like that. No use throwing for every outfit, didn't you? Absolutely.
The Sunday.
Daddy, do you want to do some?
What about, are they any of your Easter eggs there?
Nicola.
Is that
No.
Matthews?
No,
Yes,
that's one of Matthew's,
What
isn't
about the
it?
flowers? What do you
Take
put
it
on
to
the
the
tray?
store.
Oh, you've got
Don't
to.
worry.
No, what?
There.
You want to be off? On your nice jump? Look what they do.
Excuse me, isn't it? She's got an eye and everything. Haven't ironed everything in
Yeah, look.
Hard to keep it quiet.
Ooh! Hooray!
Trying to keep what quiet back?
Is he dancing? I love dee 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 dee.
That's a good
I
air.
love dee 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 dee. Dance. I love dee dee dee
That's
dee.
a very good quote.
You dancing? In you? Yeah, with the granddad. Yeah, dance. With the granddad.
That's a quote.
La dee dee dee
That's a
dee.
quote.
La dee dee dee.
There it is, good boy.
Oh, look at that.
How about a chicken?
You can do a
Where's the chicken? Chicken, where's the chicken?
page.
Show me the chicken. As a duck. Where's the chicken?
It's very close. Don't
Is it
even
no
do it
chicken,
again like
Steve?
Who are you looking at, Andrew? Look at Uncle
this. Sorry,
Steve.
Sailor.
Where's Daddy?
Right.
Where's Daddy?
And anything else you've got to
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you?
If you put me.
Andrew.
Yeah, there it is.
Andrew. Andrew.
Keep me quiet tomorrow. I love him, no wonder man on his own.
Is there any? You're right, Ian.
Hey, James. You want it back on? Put it back on again. What, darling?
Where's Daddy? Oh, Daddy.
Stand there, wait for Mummy. Wait for Mummy. Careful, wait for Mummy. Go on, yes.
that price of it.
His trouser legs come. Take 2 of paddling. Perhaps he thinks it'll look a bit warmer this time. Where's your toes, James? Where's your socks? And your shoes?
3 and 4 and 5.
see birdies? There's one, look. It comes. Oh, it didn't land.
Felt really bad, he had a bath. And like, he said he almost drowned in the bath. Like, I went off down the shops while he had a bath. They came back and like, said it didn't make him feel any better at all. Just, like, I know, like, he called me in and like, he goes, "Is this water hot, do you think?" I put my hand in it, it's fucking boiling. And he was like, doesn't feel hot at all. And he keeps like, it's sort of, I don't know, he's got like, I don't know, he's got like, say, things maybe that he's freezing 1 minute. Then like, but he keeps getting all these muscle cramps and stuff. And he got out of the bath.
It's
Daddy! His hair was spastic, like claws. And he was going, "Oh my god."
So, Daddy. Right, don't eat it. Hey, I've got some juice. James. Juice. No, don't squeeze it.
Mummy's done. Look. Look what Mummy's done.
One, two, three. Oh! Mummy's sandcastle.
Ruined.
Dada. Dada.